Hello guys, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about practical tips for travel to China. So I'll talk my background first. 100% pure Chinese. I was born in China and I lived in China for the first 18 years of my life. So I traveled to China earlier this year with my partner. This video will help people who is planning to go to China alone or with their friends, some practical tips for people who are planning to visit China and who don't speak Mandarin. So the tip one is Chinese visa. There is a website called Chinese Visa Application Service Center. Don't go to any other agency website because it's a very easy process and you can do it on your own. The process is very straightforward. You just download a form and you fill that application form with your personal information and you book an appointment. You just need to bring your passport, your flights and your accommodation, your travel plan with your application form. If you're not based in London, you can do it via post. Usually it takes about 4 working days to be processed. It's very quick, very straightforward compared to my experience of applying for the Schengen visa as a Chinese citizen travel to Europe, which was a pain. And the application fee is about £130. Depends on how long you want it, how many entries you want. For tourists, the type of visa you apply is L, and for family visiting is usually Q1 or Q2. Each visit that allows you to stay in China for no more than 180 days, which is about half a year, and I think is more than enough for traveling. And the second tip is how to pay in China. So I'm sure most of you heard that we pay everything via mobile, via the QR code and WeChat. So if you don't have WeChat or you don't have Chinese bank account, it can be quite tricky. For example, even I'm a Chinese citizen, but my ID expired. So going back home, like I found out all my bank are frozen and I cannot use my bank. So going back home earlier this year, it felt just like a foreigner. Luckily, I got my family back in China. They helped me. They transferred money via WeChat so I can pay for things. If you visit China for the first time by yourself, you need to sort out your phone payment in China because most of the people don't take cash. Even if they take it, they probably don't have money to the cash to do the exchange for you. On the China Embassy website, there is a guidance of how to pay in China. Hello guys, as you can see on the webpage, this is the latest guidance of how to pay in China. And this is on the UK Embassy, Chinese Embassy website, I believe. So the first way of paying is bank card. But when I was in China, unless you are in an international shopping mall or something, it's still quite hard to just use your bank card. This is a more common way of paying in China, which is the mobile payment. As you can see here, the first one is Alipay. It's a little bit like PayPal, and you can connect it with your home bank card, and then you can start it to use it to pay for things, and you can transfer money into Alipay and then transfer it back. I haven't had any problem with it. And the second one is Weixin Pay, which is WeChat, and I use it quite a lot because my ID was expired, and my family just transferred their money onto my WeChat account, and I used it to pay. So this is another way of paying it, and most Chinese people using WeChat for social. So if you have any Chinese friends or you made some friends, you can add them on WeChat. And this one I'm not so familiar with, Union Pay online, but welcome to explore and let me know what you think about it. And third way is cash. But as I said earlier, it's quite hard to just use cash. For example, my partner exchanged some Chinese yuan and bring it from the UK to China, but he found it quite hard to use because if he wants to buy a coffee, he gives them their money, but then they don't have enough money in the tiers because nowadays most people just pay with their phone. So it's good to have some cash in hands, but mostly, yeah, I think sorting out your mobile bank before you travel to China is very, very important. I will put this website below in the link so you can back check on it. Hopefully that will help you. The third tip is the VPN. Now I don't have any specific recommendation. They're not very stable. All the apps get changes all the time. The speed is kind of unpredictable. So I think before you travel, you can do some research, see who, if anyone is recommending a specific VPN that you can download. They don't cost a lot. So here you can see fastest VPN in China, 30 days return guaranteed, top 7 VPNs in China. So there's lots of options. The one I used that my friends gave me and my partners is called Shadow Rocket. I don't know how that works, but it works pretty well. Yes, this one, Shadow Rocket. I can do more research into that if anyone is interested. But yeah, VPN is a very important tool if you're traveling in China. And I would recommend you to sort this out before you're traveling. The fourth tip, how to book flights and buy train tickets in China. So my personal experience is because my ID has expired, so me and my partner only used our passports, and it did kind of cause some trouble because if you don't have a Chinese ID, it became a bit tricky because you can't just get them online like others, and you get like a QR code, and when you arrive at the station you can just scan your phone and you just go through the security that we have to get checked before them by the staff. It took a bit longer than the other people, but it's still pretty straightforward. Just make sure you arrive a little bit early and bring your passports with you. Not a tip, but more of some information. If you are traveling alone and you worry about safety, here are some personal tips for you. So in general, bigger cities in China are pretty safe. There are cameras everywhere. In general, Chinese people are very friendly to foreigners and they're very helpful. If you need anything, even they don't speak English, make sure you got a translator with you on your phone, on your app. I think people will be able to help you. If you want to go to some smaller villages, make sure you do your research and make sure you tell your friends where you are, and do your research, where's the police station, what's their local phone call. Personally, I think China is very safe. You can walk on street at night without worrying about too much, unless you're going somewhere in the middle of nowhere. In general, yes, in big cities it's pretty safe, especially like Beijing and Shanghai. Things are getting more expensive in China. The living cost was very low in my memory. The cost of living has gone up. The food is become more expensive. In general, they are still cheaper than Europe. But yeah, it's not as cheap as I remembered. So bear that in mind. And the food over there is pretty good, and some of them are easy to be accepted by foreigners. Some of them are quite hardcore. But I think in general you'll find things that you like. If you're a vegetarian, some of my friends are, you can still find restaurants in bigger cities. We like using the pork oil, but there are certain places, if you usually in the bigger market hall or in those vegetarian restaurants, they don't use those pork oil. If you want very specific food, you can find them there. It is a bit more difficult, unfortunately, but it's possible. We had a great holiday in China. My partner really enjoyed it, and we're planning to go back later this year. And hopefully we'll have more tips coming up for you. If you are planning to go to China, I would say I hope you're enjoying the trip. It is an amazing country, and we really welcome you guys to come to visit us, and I really hope you have a good time there.